Welcome to behind the scenes of shelter. Yes, I'm going to build me a shelter today. I've got to use all these resources right here to build it, so I don't have to cut any trees down. And the water has came down considerable. Last time I was here, it was right about there, so it's come down quite a bit. Just kind of motoring around on the beach, and I'm obviously not the only one that's been here. That print's been quite a while, so not too worried about it. So much stuff I can use. Okay, now I just got to go up to the location I want to use to build the lean-to at. I think it's going to be up there somewhere. So when I get up there, we'll talk a little bit more about the shelter I'm going to build. Okay, I'm on location. I've decided to use this area right here. As you remember, last video I did the water distiller, and that's where the fire pit was. And I thought this would be a great freaking location to set up a lean-to and a stealth campsite. Because that way we got nothing. That way the railroad, the trail right there is 250 yards, and nobody comes that far because that part of the trail is closed. All this cover for now. So then I got this tree, which I think I'm going to use for one support beam. Bring it across over here, put one in the sand, maybe incorporate that tree later. But I'm going to build it at the back this way, because the wind comes down the river this way, and it gets really cool at night. So I think that's what I'm going to do now, is start scouting out some resources to get this project started. I decided to take a little break here. This is what we got so far. Got the main cross section up. Got two supports on the end because I'm anchored in sand. And then there's a stake. Let's go over there and take a look at that. Put a stake into the ground at least 1 foot. Tied it off. I'm using jute twine because it biodegrades about the same rate as the wood will. And I got a stake over there in the back. So I got all my cross sections in. Quite a nice little pile of wood there for future use. So I got to tie all those in and then start working on the cross sections. And then start the covering. I think I'm going to cover it with, almost fell in that sand hole I made, some drum liners, and then put bark on top of them drum liners. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't decided yet. On a side note, I sent out a GPS beacon to some of my friends on Facebook. So let's see who shows up for lunch. This ought to be interesting. So this is what I got so far. Anyway, all right, this is what's going on. The back is completed. Got all the pieces in there where I need them. Looking good. The wind is coming up and switching directions. And it's kind of cooling off a little bit. No big deal. Whoever thinks that jute twine is not good stuff, cut the crap out of my thumb. Alright, so that's done. Next on the list is we got to cover it. So I've got I'm supposed to be getting some visitors here in a little bit. They're on their way. So many down trees. Look at that tree bark. I'm going to attempt to cut some of that tree bark and see if it'll work. So that is next on the agenda. So I'll put down the base layer of the 1 gallon drum liners, and I'll start cutting tree bark. And there's a whole bunch over there too I can work with, and start covering it with that. So that ought to be interesting. But so far, I think I'm freaking sturdy in a hurry, man. I think I overbuilt it. Oh well. So off to the next project, tree bark cutting. That's right. Anyway, back to the behind the scenes footage. And my phone battery is dead, so we're shooting with the camera now. But I've got the shelter pretty much put together. And my friend over here, he's going to work on the bow drill for a while, and the train's coming by. Shelter's coming along pretty good. Got a bucket here to move some sand around, and I'm working on the back end, just piling some sand up there to hold everything in place. And this board is a pressure board to hold everything down. So that's where we're at so far. I have a feeling we're going to be coming out in the dark tonight. This is day 2 of the build. Last week I had a friend come up here, and we kind of just scrapped the building of the shelter. We messed around with the bow drill a little bit, and just kind of sat here and BS'd until it got dark, and pitch dark. So let's talk about what's going on. Got a lot to do today. I'm going to finish up the video. I've got roughly about 5 to 6 more shots, and then I got some other stuff I want to do to the shelter. It rained the night before, quite a bit actually, and it was sprinkling when I came in this morning. As you can see, it's cleared up a little bit, but it might rain again today. Reason I'm telling you that, I'll show you something. This sand is wet. Okay, that is some wet sand. Now if we look here under the shelter, dry. This sand is dry. Okay, and the water line comes down to right about here, so need to work on the edge a little bit, but from there back, it's dry. Hell, even the tender's dry. It's a little damp from the moisture, but okay, I'm impressed. So basically, the shelter is working out really well. I got a couple holes I need to fill up. Goals, put some sides on. That's going to be no big deal. And I want to put a log from here to there, and then fill that up with sand and make a raised bed. That way, if it does rain real hard, it won't come in on me, because this is a big pile right here, and it just kind of goes down under the shelter. And, well, you know where that rain will go. So, I'm ecstatic. It held up a lot better than I thought it would. I'm impressed. Okay, and over here at the pack, all this crap, including this is dinner. We're going to have a community dinner later on tonight. I'm going to invite some people up. It was fit in that pack. Can you believe that? All that crap in that pack. Who knew? Alright, so I need to get busy and get some stuff going here, and hopefully the sun will come out soon. Hopefully. If not, no big deal. Side 1 is done. I've got it all filled in. Basically, tree bark, support post, and then I pushed the pressure in there, and it's all pressure fitted. And I just piled a bunch of sand up on the side. Made a nice little ditch here for the water to run off. Let's just take a look inside. That's going to keep the wind out. And if I see a spot that's not, I can just shove another piece of bark in there. And I got my front piece on. Next project, I'll fill that up with sand after I get the second side built. And I think it's going to be lunchtime. I'm not sure what time it is. I got in here probably about 7 this morning, so it's probably close to noon. I think ramen noodles will be in order. Weather check. Still overcast, but the temperature has come up a little bit, so I'm not complaining much. Doing really good. See a couple holes I got to fill over there and right there, but yeah, coming along great. So I'm just over harvesting wood, and look at those pieces I got. Freaking huge! And they didn't break, so that should be able to cover that side with no problem. Yep, and I think I'll do that side, and then we'll break for lunch. I decided it is time to stop. That side's almost done. We are having ramen noodles with a little beef jerky added on there, and it's starting to get colder. So I have a feeling it's time to build a fire pit really soon right there. I just sent out a GPS beacon. I'm going to have some friends come up later on this afternoon, and we're going to have a little shelter warming party. Still cloudy. No rain, thank God. But got the camera covered up just in case. This is where I'm at so far. I'm done. Shelter's done. Dig a trench down here. Water runs that way. Got to do a little work on the back. Not a big deal though. It's done. Most of the holes are filled up. I decided to take a break from the project and went and found me a table. That was a bitch to get up here. I still got to pat that wall down right there. That wall's padded down. That side is secure. And there's a water trench here that goes down. It'll go out that way when I'm done. This side is all tightened up. And that's all pressure set. So what I do is I put pressure on it to hold everything in place. That way I don't have to use very much rope or cordage. That's done there. So the only thing left to do is I think I got 2 more shots to do with the video, and I can pack all that equipment up. And I need to put my fire pit in right there. And then in a couple hours I got some guests coming up, and we're gonna have a shelter warming party. Maybe I'll be able to find another stump for another table. Anything's possible right now. Weather, clouds are breaking a little bit. Not much though. The shelter is done. Got a nice little fire going there. Finished my last shot. That fire's freaking hot. I'm just gonna start cleaning my mess up here and get ready for my company. But yeah, this has been a really fun project. I'm saying that fire is really hot. The only thing I gotta be really careful is not to catch my shelter on fire, because that is cottonwood bark. That would not be a good time. Oh man. Still clearing up, but now that the cloud cover is lifting, it is getting kind of cold out. But that shouldn't be a problem with that little guy going there. I should have a good bed of coals in no time so I can start cooking dinner. I'm putting my chili on, and I discovered something. Yeah, it's freaking frozen. You believe that? I guess it got a lot colder this morning than I thought it did, so I need to slowly heat it up. So I dug out a little hole in the fire pit here, and I'm just going to slowly put some coals around there and bring it up to a temperature. And then I'll put it on there to give it a nice little simmer for a couple minutes. But it should be pretty good. A friend of mine made it for me. I don't know what the hell's in it, but it looks good. So that's the plans for so far. Chili is done, finally. And it looks good. Look at that. Oh. Ironically, now I gotta let it cool off so I can eat it. Go figure, huh? Oh, Lord. Boy, it's warm under the shelter, but when you step outside of it, it is freaking cold. Okay, time to have some chili. Okay, does anybody remember how we got here? Huh, me neither. Crap. And I don't have a map either. Well, hell. I'm just kidding. We're going to be coming out in the dark, it looks like. As soon as I can get to a really straight stretch of the trail. I got this new flashlight I want to see how bright it's going to be. Something I've been experimenting with. Well, first I've got to find a trail. I do believe it is dark enough to experiment with my new flashlight. This is an Ozark Trails. Charges off a USB port. Right offhand, I don't remember the luminous, but it's hella bright. Alright, you guys ready? Look at that. Thing is just freaking bright as all heck. Pretty cool, huh? I know. It's got, I think, an hour life on high, and then 4 hours on medium. Or actually, this is low setting. But I like the fact that you can just plug it into a USB. Oh, there we go, focus. It's getting really humid out. There we go. I like the fact you can plug it up to a USB charger and don't have to worry about batteries. Alright. Oh, there's one other really cool thing it does. Watch this. Pretty cool, huh? It'll send an SOS signal. Yeah, who knew? Yeah, okay. Well, I think this is going to wrap this video up, friends. I hope you enjoyed the behind-the-scenes footage of shelter. I had a blast. I foresee an overnight in the near future. Definitely. I'm going to pick a cold and rainy night to do it in to really test the limits of the shelter setup, but I have a feeling it's going to work freaking great. So, did you hear that? Huh. So, what the heck? Oh! Oh.